Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope that you have been waiting for me a little because the first time is not easy, and certainly it took some efforts to arrange everything technically, but it goes with experience, and I'm sure that very soon it will be as easy as anything else which is done on the regular basis. So I'm also learning to do it, and it's not so difficult, but a bit unusual. So Marina, you're the first. Hello, very nice to see you. I started a bit later just because it was a problem with transferring the cover of it. Yes, hello, Helen. I'm glad that you were patient enough and you were waiting for me. Yes, okay. We have already 4 people. Anastasia, hello. It's so nice that we are continuing here our English club. And it's not just an English club. Here we will have a certain topic, a topic which is absolutely necessary for each of you, I hope, because it's very applicable. So it can be applied to your everyday life, and I hope it's not only a good practice for your English, because we are going to communicate only in English. We will try not to transfer into any other language. Svetlana, I'm so glad to see you. So all my English club is here. It's fantastic. Estupendo. See? Nos vemos aquí. Es muy interesante para nosotros. Yeah, you can greet each other. And let me ask one of you, Ksenia, let it be you this time. If during the stream anybody joins us who speaks Russian, who will ask in the chat any questions, if this person is polite enough, I mean, is not rude, because there are many, so to say, jerks wandering in the internet. So, I mean, if it's a normal question, but the person is surprised why we are talking English here, just please be so kind and write a message that tomorrow we will have our Russian stream on the same topic, not the same, but I mean around psychology, and put down the time. Just leave a message that this person is welcome, but in Russian certainly, that he or she is welcome tomorrow at 9 to our Russian stream, which will be as it's scheduled at 9 o'clock, and we will go on. So before we start the topic, just as usual, some technical details. Oh, have you given your likes? No, you haven't. Don't forget our ritual. It's obligatory ritual. You give your likes and you inform me if you hear me well, if you see me well. I will try to do some changes here and you will compare the picture. For the first times, it will be necessary to do it. Do you see me better now than before? I changed a focus a little. Okay, thank you, Ksyusha. I hope that everything is quite comfortable for you. The sound is okay. And in case you, yeah, please, those who were not present last time, I repeat the information that the number of likes which we have right now from the very beginning influences the promotion of this video during the stream. So we are very few here, and certainly it's absolutely necessary that each of you does it. So I see that most of you have done it, only one is missing, but no problem. Try to do it and try to participate actively as much as you can. I understand that maybe you have So you are writing something, it's okay, everything is okay, perfect. Okay, so as you know, our today's topic is why does everyone need a psychology? So a psychology as a science, a psychologist as a person, and why is it so important to become, so to say, self-trained psychologist for your life, first of all, for the life of your friends, your relatives, your family, present or future, or some changes and shifts which certainly could happen with each of you, with each of us, because we know that changes, they bring always the positive effect, even if we cannot accept them as positive ones, and sometimes they look gloomy, they look uninviting, and we are really afraid to make a step further. Still, the first thought which we should catch right now, that any change brings the positive effect sooner or later, even if it looks like a disaster right now, currently. When nothing happens, nothing is going on, then this is a point for contemplation, for maybe stopping for a while and thinking over about your life, because stagnation is the opposite to development. So psychologically, you can believe me or not, but I hope that you trust me and you know that I never say something without checking just because it has occurred to me right now. Even if I say something spontaneously, and most of the things I say spontaneously, they are based on some firm basis of knowledge. So you can believe me or not, but any change, even the one which looks like catastrophe, is something which is for the better, which will open you a new way, a new understanding, or at least will make you a bit wiser than yesterday. Because only with experience we go through our life. When nothing happens, nothing occurs, we are inside of the very killing process, which is called stagnation. So in order to involve you in our discussion, because it's quite a long discussion and I hope captivating for you, but to make you a bit alert and engaged, I want each of you to write your variant, your version, why I have chosen such a title of our today's stream, that every person, to my mind, especially nowadays, especially today, especially during this transformative period which we are going through, why exactly each person, developed and undeveloped, educated and less educated, clever and stupid, any person needs psychology as something to live with. Please, your ideas on the point. It's still for me hard to believe that we are here in YouTube. It's something fantastic and unrealistic. And this is one more change in my life. Is the speed of the connection good? I mean, does everything coincide? I mean, does it go simultaneously? I mean, my speech and my face movements, because in Instagram it was a bit annoying, this fact. Hopefully in YouTube it will go smoothly. So I'm waiting for your answer, and be so kind, participate. And as you know, especially now, because most of you know English as the second language. Don't be afraid. Forget that once I was your teacher. Make your mistakes. It's not a problem. Yeah, life is going too fast and we need to stop and think about things that matter. Yeah, Anastasia, exactly. So you think that psychology, did I understand you right? Did I get it right? That you think that psychology is necessary because life is going too fast and we need to stop and to think sometimes, to feel more comfortable and to live one's life fruitfully. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it is applied to everyone. Yeah, quality is good. Thank you. Yes, Ksenia. uh, the hard period. So if, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was the matter of choice, the matter of your interests. Some people, as we know perfectly well, they were fond of psychology even 100 years ago. Even ancient Greeks and Romans, they are considered to be the founding fathers, not only of all the sciences and philosophy and psychology as well. If you go to the classical education institution on psychology, the first thing you learn that psychology started to be born in the ancient world. Yeah, it has been formed as a special science by the end of the 19th century. It has become, then it became an official science. Yeah, accepted science among all the others. But the roots of it, they go very back to ancient world, and certainly there we can find it. Yeah, to communicate with each other. Yes, yes, Nastya, I read your thought right. Yeah. So, and the point is that before, let's say, as I said, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was a matter of choice. You can be interested in it, or you can overlook it and go further and have your own interest. Now I can declare with all the seriousness of my attitude that without at least basic psychological knowledge, it's practically impossible even to survive. Not speaking about fruitful life, which you have mentioned, not speaking about analysis, which Anastasia has mentioned. I mean, to survive, because if we don't combine at least basic knowledge, now, in this transformative period through which each of us, no matter if we want it or not, if we accept it or not, but we're going through it at a high speed daily. And if we don't take into consideration the structure of our own psyche, the structure of the psyche of different people, we will not be able completely to coordinate with them, to build up something, because we will never be able to read their mind, their intentions, their projections. And certainly we will easily fail. Those who have joined us, please say hello, say where you're from, because each of you is welcome here and is highly waited for. Yeah. So to be healthy physically and psychologically, yes, exactly. Now we cannot imagine our mental health with the basic knowledge, as I say every time, and I will repeat it as a parrot, that only ignorance kills us, not the other stuff, not misfortunes, not bad luck, not anything else, and even not abusers, but our own ignorance and inability to understand what is really going on. And no matter how clever and smart we are, if we don't have the basic foundation of the elementary psychological knowledge, we will fail to understand and digest the situation, and to avoid the repetition of unnecessary sufferings, which will certainly come up as quickly as they can if we don't learn the lesson. So now we, all of you, all of us are going through what type of period, what kind of transition we can mention right now. Ksenia has that it's a hard period of life. What do you mean by that? What's the difference between today and my life, your life, a half of a year ago? What is the major difference which we can actually almost touch? At least we can say that it's tangible. It's obvious because half of a year ago, we could only suppose, we could only philosophize on this issue, but now we can say, look around and you will see it. So what kind of, so to say, hard times am I talking about right now? Please speak up. Tell me what you really think. Oh, we are already 4 here. Please, those who have joined us, say hello. Please participate. Even if you don't speak English well, don't be ashamed. Anyway, I think it will be fruitful. Yeah, first of all, we have the factor from, so to say, outside world. We live in lockdown. Somebody has stopped living in it, but we never know if it comes back or not. World changes, we transform in new reality. Absolutely right, Helen. We can call, so to say, hard times new reality. If it is good or bad, this is not the point of our today's discussion, because each reality has its advantages, as you know, and disadvantages, but as something absolutely new, it's unpredictable. So this is the key word. So how do we feel? What do you know about our psyche? How we feel in the situation of unpredictability? What is so depressing in it and why? When we are young, especially when we are romantic, just surprises, they may not just surprises, but surprises typically make us happy, exhilarated. So we love the day full of surprises, life full of surprises. Why such kind of a surprise as coronavirus can depress us, can take this foundation, this stable ground beneath our feet? Why does it have such an effect? Any idea? Yeah, we become vulnerable. Why? Why do we become vulnerable? How do we typically react to unpredictability? What is so scary for us in it? Yeah, it is called uncertainty. Yeah. Those who watched my videos, I spoke about that not once. So what is our, let's say, neurological reaction to anything unknown? Why do we need the timetable? Why do we feel so comfortable when we plan every minute? But then, as life teaches us, any plan can be ridiculous because the day can be full of surprises and everything can change with the flow of the events. And our ability to change our schedule and get adjusted shows our greatest flexibility, the flexibility of our psyche, of our brain. And it's, let's say, the greatest quality which we can have if we cannot change our schedule quickly, if we become oppressed by the fact that we have planned everything so wonderfully, but we cannot accept the changes. It's the fact that our mind has become rigid, and we will suffer every time any changes comes. So yeah, panic. Yeah, we have the feeling of control. Yes, Nastya, you're right. When we plan everything, we don't have. I would like to break one more illusion, and it's not because I want to spoil your mood or your confidence, vice versa. I'm trying to do everything to make you stronger, to provide you with the necessary supply of deep knowledge and the answers to any situation. But we have this illusion that if we plan everything correctly, everything will go the way we want. It's just an illusion of life. Certainly, good time management can solve many issues, can help us to keep our time, to save it, not to waste it. But it will be stupid to rely on it and believe that the way we planned our day, it will go in the same way. So the best variant, the best structure is to have a very good plan, but to be ready all the time to some little alterations and changes, which will certainly occur, because if you interact with other people, and even if you interact with yourself, you change during the day and during the life and during all the periods of time, many things, but they shouldn't undermine your initial plan and your targets. So that is why, Anastasia, this feeling of control, certainly we need it, we want it, because when we have anxiety, only the feeling of control can calm us down a little. But if you go to any psychologist, he will explain you that the illusion of control doesn't treat anxiety. It's just like a pill from the headache. It can bring you some relief for a couple of hours, but the problem should be treated differently. So that is why the desire to control the situation is one more illusion, but certainly our psyche can demand it. So the other statement here, yeah, we avoid uncertainty to bring some order in our life. Tim, hello, it's so nice to see you here. Yeah. Okay, but the question is, you give interesting ideas, but you still don't answer my question. Why uncertainty and unpredictability are so uncomfortable for us? So you've mentioned close to that we lose feeling of control. But my friends, when we are in love, do we control everything? But isn't it a nice feeling to be in love? When we enjoy something, do we control it? By the way, I will give you a little hint. When we control something and we're mentally healthy, we do not enjoy it. So pleasures and enjoyment and deep feelings, they come where there is no control but trust. Trust to yourself, trust to your life, trust to your love, trust to your friends. As long as we control something, we demonstrate the lack of trust. And the person who cannot trust is a very unhappy person. He lives in permanent, constant anxiety. And this is already something which should be treated. So the question is why we dislike, not we, but our psyche, why does it feel uncomfortable in accordance with the framework of uncertainty. So Helen has written that we want order. Why do we want this order so much? Okay, we can't control it, but this is the point. But again, I have given you just the examples. If you remember the best moments of your life, when you really were happy, you will find out that you were happy just because you didn't control anything. You gave a chance to the flow of everything that was going on to come into your life and to take it and to cherish it and to enjoy it. Because if you have started controlling it, it wasn't already the enjoyment. So the question is, why the best moments are when we do not control, but still we're so much afraid of uncertainty. We can talk about a consumer society and all those social issues, but directly they have very little to do with our own psyche, because we react to the society. I'm answering the team's remark. We react to the society in the way we have elaborated our psyche to operate, because the issue of our sufferings and misfortunes, it's not the society, it's only the ability to interact with our own ego and with our inner world. So, and in the society, we only transform, we transfer what we have accumulated. The feeling of freedom, Marina, yeah. Feeling of freedom, yes, where is it? This feeling of freedom, tell me, you're so close. You're so close to what I want you to think about. Yes, Helen, please remember what you have written. Just put it down right now. Get distracted a little, because this is the key phrase which will help you to become not a different person, because you are already a nice person, but to live your life easier. Because what you have written right now is your mindset, because this is something which should be changed, and when you manage to change it, your life will be absolutely different and fulfilled. So Helen has written that she is waiting for something bad and she doesn't know what to do. I think she means when there is uncertainty. You see, this is the something which is programmed in our mind, that when we don't know what will happen, we expect bad things. And it's wrong. My friends, it's wrong. It's a mistake. It's a mistake which can rob us, for dozen years of our life. It can steal half of our life if just we react to uncertainty as to something that can bring bad things. Okay, I'm glad that this issue has raised up. Yes, certainly nothing can replace the communication, and it shouldn't be replaced. The communication is something which is inherent to the human being, to Homo sapiens, and we already said during our last streams that now we are who we are. Girls, please, those who participated, how does the science call us now, Homo sapiens? To which notion, to which model have we been transformed? Who remembers? Who has a good memory? And who follows my posts? Oh, Ksenia, you expect only good things. Good for you, but also a bit dangerous. I should say. I like such attitude more, by the way, but again, without any intention to disappoint you or provoke any regrets, just only with desire to help you to know your life better. I should say that when we expect only good things, it's a bit naive. And the more years we live, more mature we should become. So the issue is to find the proper answer to this question, but to restrict it a little. So if somebody remembers how we should be called now instead of Homo sapiens, at least those of us who progress, if you remember it, please make me happy and write it, because I will be extremely glad if you remember some terms. I have mentioned it in my posts. I say it often during my video films, and certainly I used it during our last meeting, which was in Russian last Tuesday. So instead of just simply Homo sapiens, now we have become, or we should become, whom Homo who, and it has something to do with Tim's remark that communication is everything. Yes. Yeah, but it should be written with the Latin root. But what you mean, Helen, is absolutely right. Homo loquens. Loquens, it's from Latin, and it means communication. So as you know, the person with whom we talk, we call it in English, if you don't know this word, put it down, interlocutor. So the person with whom I'm talking right now, he is my interlocutor. So now you are all my interlocutors and I'm yours. So the person who speaks, if we translate this Latin term, now each of us who evolutionizes, who really develops, and who is not in stagnation, he becomes step by step Homo loquens, the person who can speak, who can express his ideas, who can be brave enough to articulate them, even accepting the fact that in the beginning we make mistakes, not only in the language, but also in public speaking, because the conditions, the framework is different. Not everyone can sit down in front of the camera as I'm doing right now and just speak up. Even if this person has a plenty of ideas and very deep philosophical mind, it's an additional skill which can be trained certainly and requires a big practice, vast practice, and this determination of the character, not to be afraid of speaking up. Just don't care about the way you look, because every time you look in your reflection, being quite sometimes a picky person, you can be not satisfied with the makeup or whatever, with the hair. So, but you should stop thinking about it and go on and just to follow your idea. And this is an extra skill which each of you, my dear friends, if you have joined me from our first stream, I want you to remember this is a vital skill, vital thing, because it's necessary for your practical life when you're going through interviews. It's necessary skill when you start new communication. It's necessary when you go around. And it's absolutely necessary when you build up new relationship or you want to keep up those which you have already had and still have. Because without the ability of speaking and making up your thoughts and articulating your ideas, unfortunately, we fall back, we go back in our development and we do not turn into Homo loquens. So I call you, I encourage you to have this word in your mind daily, and when you wake up, every morning or every second morning, because if you are too busy, I understand, you will think about the daily issue. But from time to time, say to yourself or ask yourself, am I a homo eloquens? Am I the person who can articulate my thoughts, even sometimes in a very subtle or maybe not determined way, making them ambiguous, sometimes double-sensed, but step by step, shaping them, fixing them in the ways that they become clear-cut, they penetrate somebody's mind, and certainly they provoke some feedback. And this is the art. This is the skill which is absolutely important and vital and crucial and necessary for our psyche. And if we don't start doing it from today, unfortunately, our life will be harder and harder because the transformative period has come. And coming back to the idea, so uncertainty, we have two opposite attitudes, and thank you for sharing, because it's very important that we have found here in our small chart, because there are only 7 people right now, but we already have two opposite attitudes to this issue. Please, those who have joined us, don't forget to leave your likes right now, because it's important to promote right now during the stream this video, because the more likes it has, more visitors we invite exactly right now to join us. And certainly we need wider public, wider audience. Let's not forget about it. So now we are facing here two opposite attitudes to the uncertainty. One is the person thinks that if I don't know what will happen tomorrow, something bad will happen. This is one attitude. The second attitude is, oh, if I don't have a plan for tomorrow, it will certainly bring something good and fantastic and positive. So as I told you, the second one I like a bit more as a psychologist and as a human being, because I see some good tendencies in it. But why both of those attitudes are not appropriate? Why are both of them dangerous? And there can be a peril in it. Danger, peril, if you don't know the word, this is a danger. There is some peril in it. So please, your ideas. Don't I speak too loud? Maybe I should speak a bit lower, because I have this professional habit to speak up loudly, and sometimes I wonder, why do I do it? I can take it easier, and I can calm down my voice a little. So those who don't have the direct answer, just let me know about this, the volume of my voice, if I should speak in the same way, or if I should speak lower, a bit lower. And all the others, please give your ideas. Again, don't hesitate to say something plain or even primitive. We are not at the institute or psychological university or at some kind of scientific seminars. We are free people here who have come together just to enrich each other with the knowledge and with the ability to think and to speak. So that is why don't be afraid of being ridiculous. So the volume is perfect. Thank you, Ksenia. You're, as always, very kind. Helen, I don't mean this exactly. I don't mean why it's so bad to plan everything, because this is the other issue. It's good, because that is why we join the time management courses. And people who manage to do so many things during the day, first of all, they have almost perfect plan. So it's not so bad to have a plan, but to stick to it, let's say, with every inch of your mind, it's really dangerous. You are right. But my question is, why how to put it better? Why the fact that we are scared by uncertainty? And why the fact that when we are excited, when we don't know what will go on, what will happen to us, why both of those facts are not appropriate? And they can be ruinous, both of them can be ruinous in this period of uncertainty, when we don't know what will happen tomorrow, to which side this situation with coronavirus develop the world. If we travel a lot as in the past, or we will be limited and restricted to the places we live, to the circle of people we stay in touch, and all our life will be transferred into internet and online communication, studies, and so on and so forth. So Marina has written something. Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be able to change the plan. Yeah, this is one of the accomplishments and achievements of our psyche, of our mind. One more thing which should be remembered. As far as we are flexible, we are young. The first sign of the old psyche, all the symptoms of aging, is not a biological age, and it's I mean passport age, because biological age can be different. The rigidness of the mind, the inability of psyche to change, this is the symptom, the sign of real aging. But as long as we are able to change the plan, to be flexible, sometimes in an easy way, sometimes with some effort, sometimes grumbling and nagging that we don't want to change, we want to be the way it is, but still capable of doing it. Age is not a problem for us, because when our brain and psyche, they are young, we're young. And even our skin is younger, believe me, not due to the cosmetology helps and absolutely necessary. You know that I'm for it, but we look younger and we have more energy when we are flexible. It's like the flexible body, the flexible mind is the same. Yeah, strict plan, okay. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. It's true. Yes, to be flexible. Yes, Marina, you just have repeated my thought. I mean, simultaneously we did it. I always said simultaneously, and it's right, but I heard also the variant simultaneously. That is why you should mind and keep it. Yeah, both flexible body and mind. If we stretch our body to be healthier, so we should stretch our mind. And flexibility is ability to go through changes. Yes, it's right that from any situation we can find positive lessons, but why it's a bit stupid, I would say not stupid, but too naive to expect just the positive turn from tomorrow. It's a childish position, just to say, okay, no matter what will happen, I will find my positive lesson. The calamity may come, the disaster, the catastrophe, death, illness, and we shouldn't be afraid of speaking about that. Why the maturity is where we can accept both the bright turn and the bad turn. Why is it important to keep it? Yes, certainly. It's not enough to only to talk. We're here just to talk in order to apply it, hopefully. This is my target, to apply everything which we have mentioned and we are going to mention today to your everyday life. Yes, everything that you are writing or have written is correct as far as the plan goes. But why do we have this doubleness, ambiguousness of the expectation of the future? Why are we afraid of uncertainty as one approach, and the other approach, why we exaggerate everything, thinking that tomorrow will bring us just endless happiness and just divine condition and paradise on earth? What are we doing at this moment when we think like that? That tomorrow everything will change? Okay, no, not to torture you anymore, not pushing you too much to think, because we are going on the same round. Yeah, we're afraid that we cannot take control. This is the point, and now we know that it's not so good. Okay, somebody who has people dependent on you, but this is your choice. And the other issue, why did you make such a choice? It says a lot about your psyche and about the perception of the world. Why are there people who can accept the fact that somebody depends on him? Why are there other people who prefer independence and collaboration, but not dependency? Because maybe you use the wrong word. Because to be dependent in psychology, it means quite difficult situation. Because psychological dependence, it's not the sign of healthy relations. So I think this is the point of the terms. You should have used probably the other term. You could say that there are people who you feel you're responsible for. Because if you say that they are dependent on you, they are in a way, as far as I know. But if we put it into psychological arena, it's not the good notion. Yes, Marina, absolutely right. When we imagine the bright future, which will all of a sudden, not because we put in so many efforts, not because we gradually, step by step, try to get new knowledge, we try to build up a new project, and sooner or later the outcome comes, but just because we are dreamers and we believe in miracles and we think, okay, today is not the best day of my life, but tomorrow life will bring me so many positive things just because I'm a good person, just because I believe in karma, just because I did so many good things to other people. Just I will open my eyes tomorrow, see the world, and this world will be different. It will love me, it will accept me, and I will meet only positive people. Nonsense, my friends. It will never be like that, because no matter how good you are, how many good actions you have made, so tomorrow cannot bring you just the rosy wings on which you can fly or only positive things. Tomorrow will be a mixture, as usual, of positive and negative things, and it's up to you how to face the reality, to which target, to move, and which efforts to undertake to make your life a bit brighter, a bit maybe sometimes even lighter, but to be capable to accept this sad part of our life, this other side, so to say, of the medal, when we know that calamities, disasters, even wars, unfortunately, are unavoidable. So they are something which we should face as something inevitable. And only when we have enough strength of character and lack of illusions, a mature look at the world, we can live even in this kind of rough, so to say, conditions. And then in those rough conditions, it's hard to believe we can become extremely happy, extremely encouraged, extremely fulfilled, but without this layer of naivety, saying, oh, the world is so good, people are so nice, they're so cute. If I smile at them, they will smile back. No, certainly it's better to smile. Certainly it's better to start up a light conversation with a stranger to discuss weather, whatever, I don't know, than to talk at once about hard things, about troubles, problems, about global events, which are sad nowadays. But it's only the skill which can be shown, but it has nothing to do with our maturity. The maturity is the acceptance of reality the way it is, not being afraid of it, and confidence and firm belief that no matter what the day will come tomorrow, this is the secret, by the way, no matter what the life will bring tomorrow, I am capable enough to go through that day, not in a depressed state of mind, even if the trial which is prepared for me is quite difficult. If it is difficult, it means that I have inbuilt potential to go through it. And I will translate it to the world that I'm quite strong and I'm very versatile. I hope you know the word versatile means multilateral. I'm so different that I can face all of those sides of reality. So this is the point of maturity. When we face the future with the fear, it can mean two things. I will try to give you a hint. First of all, it is connected with our evolution. And secondly, it is connected with our upbringing. So these are the major roots of our fear of the future. Can you guess those roots? Okay, I repeat it. So for this vision, for this envisioning of the future, which is unknown and unpredictable, as something negative and something that can bring us only sufferings or bad turns of our life. So this concept, this, better to say, perception, it lies in two factors. One of them is evolutionary, and the second one, certainly there are more, but we can name two of them. The second is connected with our upbringing. Yes, but this is, Tim, it means responsibility. And actually, to be responsible for somebody, even your children, the life doesn't require so much. Certainly, we want always the best for our children, but each children's life shouldn't ruin our destiny, our life, Because if we only serve the children to provide them with education and good standard of life, it's a big, big mistake for which we will pay sooner or later. Just to bear responsibility, because those who have become parents, first of all, they are responsible, but their life shouldn't be the servitude to their children. And we shouldn't miss the opportunities of changing our life just because we're afraid of not giving the best we can to our children. This is very important point for all the parents, for the present parents, for the future parents, because it's the other topic. I cannot go too far in it. To be sure in ourselves. Okay. So I'm waiting for your guessing, for your ideas about those two main factors which formed our perception of the future, I mean unknown future, uncertain future, as something negative and scary. We should understand the root. When we know the root, we know what to do with it. So, and I'm going to discuss with you the major roots of all those fears for the future. And certainly, if you were attentive during my videos, some of you can guess one factor, which is biological, which is evolutionary, so to say. You know that my education is composed of different layers. You know me as a linguist and a language teacher. You know me as a psychologist. I can say, what is the word here? Bravely, let's say. I can say bravely that I'm a philosopher as well, because through all my life, I have been reading philosophy and lecturing on it, not only reading. And also, I'm very interested in neurosciences research, and I'm giving to it a very serious part of my life. So, and I can confirm with all those facts which we have now in neurosciences, that those factors which I expect you to bring up, they are proven already by neurosciences. So in the structure of our brain, there are those factors which keep us from making some, let's say, involuntary actions which can become a threat for our future. So what kind of evolutionary factor can keep us from being happy when we face the uncertainty? Why don't we jump up and say, oh my God, my life is changing, it's for the better, and okay, it's a new page, I want to be there, enough of that old one. I want to go to a new country, I want to start something new. So I have had my experience already, I want to go further. Yeah, to be sure in ourselves, but evolutionary, I mean, evolutionary. So evolutionary, we went through all those stages of animalistic development. So we were learning and getting acquainted with the world, just being the bearers of animals' mind and animal brains. Even if we take the initial stages of our evolutions, when we were primitive, we lived in forests, we lived in the unprotected lands, so we were in close touch with nature, and nature was always unknown. We never knew from which corner the predator could jump on us. We could be killed very easily by the nature and by the animals. In order to survive, the human being had to elaborate to perfection the methods of defending himself against nature, against predators, against all those changes of the weather, to be able to build up a shelter, to be able to provide oneself with the minimum food and elementary products. So, and in order to do all that, the person who should have obtained a special structure in his brain which could help him to survive. What kind of structure? That certainly I'm not expecting you to say the term. We are not doing science here. But what kind of structure in our brain should we possess in order to go through jungles, in order to go through Sahara Desert, in order to survive in a little tribe of people with hurricanes, with earthquakes, with many kinds of disasters, and still to go on as human beings through our evolution? Yeah, capacity to adapt. Yes, Helen, this is the main function of the psyche, but this is not the point we're talking to. Yeah, by the way, who doesn't know the main capacity, the main ability of our psyche, and this is our psyche 4. This is its function. So psyche bears the main function to help us to get adjusted to the changing reality. If we know that, we will never be negative about the changes, because only with the changes our psyche works. When we don't have any changes, our psyche is dying. I'm not exaggerating, it's the truth. Braveness, to be able to risk. Yes, certainly to be able to risk, but at the initial stage. So I would call it, Marina, to be able to risk. This is something which is closer to our neocortex. I mean, the part of the brain which has been developed through our human evolution. Yeah, step by step. I'm asking more about this primitive stage of our development, but exactly this quality, this ability of our brain helped us to develop to the, now it has turned into braveness, bravity, yeah, and ability to risk. Yeah, it's a good answer, by the way. But initially, it was this kind. Okay, any answers more, or shall I say it? Because time goes by very quickly. Oh, we're staying here more than an hour. I thought these were only 50 minutes. So we need to wind up. Okay, not just instantly, but at least targeting to the end of conversation. Then I will. So if some of you comes up with the answer, just don't hesitate to write it. So the importance of being protective was absolutely necessary through the way of evolution. If we couldn't protect ourselves from the perils and dangers of the surrounding world, we wouldn't survive. So, and now we still have it. That is why when something unknown happens or we have uncertainty, our primitive reaction, mind that this is primitive reaction, which was absolutely necessary then, at the initial stage of our human evolution, but now it can hardly help us. Maybe sometimes, but very seldom, because this is the function of our lower part of the brain to protect ourselves from the predators, from the wild world. But social world is not wild, though sometimes we see something worse than wild actions. But it's not the wild nature, but we have it in our brain as initial protection from the unknown environment. That is why each of us you, me, your friends, the bravest of us, we have this reaction to the uncertainty. The first impulse is to run away or to attack. And this is animalistic reaction. When I say animalistic, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It served its function for a long time, and we, okay, if I can put it like that, we should be grateful for it, because it was the necessary layer of our brain which helped us to survive. So this is evolutionary factor. And when we know it, we treat it differently. It's easy. You don't need to go to psychologist in order to overcome it. With the knowledge, it's quite enough to understand why we feel a bit shaky, a bit vulnerable when something unknown comes. But it's not so crucial. When we know it, we can go further. The other factor, which is crucial, which is a very important to get rid of. Sometimes you can do it on your own. Sometimes you cannot avoid the direct communication with the psychologist. This factor can spoil all your life. This is the point of the mindset which you got in your childhood. Because some of those people who were authority for you, they are called in psychology significant figures, significant others. Significant people are either your parents or your educators, your nannies, nurses, anybody who was around you and who talked with you during your infancy, when you just got your first ideas and you learned how to speak, what to say. So each thought which was pronounced not once then was encoded in your mind. And why it's so bad? Because you can never differentiate if it's your thought or the thought which was impaired into your mind, which was induced into it. And now you cannot track it. When it comes to you, you take it as something natural, as something yours, but it's not so. So when you ask yourself, how do I see my future without the plan? And you feel unstable, you feel depressed, you feel the fear, it means that somebody was inducing into your mind, sometimes without any special purpose. Maybe because he or she had the same program, had the same mindset. So when we say, oh, it's not for the better, oh, the black cat crossed my road, oh, it's a bad sign. Everything is a bad sign. So such manipulations with your mind could build up this negative perception of uncertainty. And now it's your limitation. Now it's something that can restrict you from the future development. So that is why either you digest it on your own, tracing it, trying to work with it, trying to feel comfortable when you don't have a plan for tomorrow, trying to feel comfortable when something changes and you need to react spontaneously. If you don't manage to do it, and it's quite all right, then you need to address to a good psychologist who will with a certain tools help you to do it very quickly and to get rid of it and to have quite a different mindset, which is quite positive and, better to say, realistic. So this is the main issue which we managed to have reached today. That, let me outline it. The most important thing, that psychology is absolutely necessary to each person who lives today, no matter if he understands it or not, because we have entered the new stage of our human development, the stage of transgression, let's say, the transference into the new reality in which every little matters, and each inch of knowledge can be very helpful to you. You can't be unstable during this period because you will lose yourself on the way. We are trying to find out the factors which influence your everyday state of mind. And most of them were the factors which influence you, your non-acceptance of uncertainty. We have one good speaker here in Russia whose name is Irina Hakamada, and she wrote the book, the period of turbulence. So we are going now through turbulence, and it's not because we want or don't want. We cannot avoid it. We need to learn how to live in the turbulence. And besides that, not only how to learn, but even how to be happy during this turbulence, to learn how to fly, how to have long distance flights, and to do during these flights whatever we want, not just to sleep or pray God when it's over, but to do useful things and even to enjoy it. So only the first step we have learned today, that this fear of uncertainty can be found in the following factors: that we went through evolutionary steps in which this fear of uncertainty could be, and really was, our ally. It was our friend, which helped us to protect ourselves against very crude reality, very harsh world in which we lived, in the environment which was unpredictable, full of predators, full of elements of nature. And due to this alertness and the ability to see this this unexpectancy of the nature, actually this factor helped us to survive. But now we are living in a different world, and we don't need it anymore as a mindset. This is the part of our monkey brain, our animalistic lower layer of the brain, which now shouldn't rule our life. It can be there. There can be 1-2 cases in your life when it can really help you, but not more. So now it can more stop you than help you. So that is why when we feel this fear, we should understand that part of it belongs to this primitive part of the brain, monkey mind, which tries to protect us from anything which is unknown. So with this factor, you can struggle easily and overcome it with your own help, with your own knowledge. The second factor is upbringing and all those induced programs about which I talked so many times. The educators, the parents, first of all, this is the role of the parents. Sometimes unconsciously, they induce so many fears into a child that the child has nothing to do but to struggle all his life through these fears. So if your parents were a bit pessimistic or not very much encouraging, if they were fearful, certainly they brought up this idea into your mind that every turn of life could bring something bad. So this is the thing which is quite hard to manage on your own. For this, you need psychologists who can use special tools to overcome it. But you can try. You can try to do it on your own. You can write your questions. I will certainly answer them during our next stream. And this will help you to manage, because my target is here not to see my potential clients in you, though I don't mind, but first of all, to be able to help you to manage on your own, just communicating with me, talking with me here, and being eager to digest all this information. I do hope that it can help you to become self-psychologist. and sometimes maybe consult me for a short session if it's necessary, but not doing it. Okay, to put it correctly, maybe you have some problems which should be solved with the help of psychologists, and it's the right decision, because it's better to spend 1 month than 10 years on solving this or that issues. But it's something you will decide, being provided with the information I'm going to provide you with. So Tim is writing that he was skeptical about psychologists, but after some experience in his life, he realizes that he needs professional help. And it's true, this is typically the factors which influence us. And nobody becomes a psychologist just one day, waking up in the morning, say, okay, I want to be a psychologist. No. Every good psychologist has come through many things and managed to overcome them and managed to survive. And going through all those trials and tribulations of life, one of those people realized that I know so many tools and I know so much that I would be happy to take it as a mission to spread the word, to share it with all the others who will go through some trials and tribulations as well. And what can make you stronger as much as psychological knowledge? Nothing, believe me. There is only this basis. It's more than religion, my friends. It's stronger than religion. It's something which can protect you, which can evolve your potential, which can keep your youth forever, and which can make you, it's very important for me, open-minded, not narrow-minded nationalist or chauvinist, or just somebody who treats himself as a gender, as a function, as a social item, but multilateral, fantastic human being, which is endless, inexhaustible. Only philosophy plus psychology plus foreign languages can give you this ability to live your life in the deepest possible way, and not to be lost, not to be shocked by every turn you have. And even if tomorrow you have a disaster, you can be strong enough to smile at it and say, okay, this is not what I wanted, but if it has come, I'm strong enough and I'm wise enough, and nobody can take myself from me. No society, no tribe, none of the groups, none of the turns of my life can take me from me, because here I am, and here what I'm here for. So, okay, on this emotional note, I would like to finish, to wind up our stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it brought to you some good practice in listening comprehension, and you really understood sometimes a complicated language, which I had nothing but to do but used, because we needed some scientific terms and some terms in all. But I tried to do my best to pronounce it, not as quickly as I could, just to make you keep up with everything. But with every meeting, you will feel more and more comfortable, I am sure. And I have only one question to you, because we are very few here now, and I think that it will last for some time, that we are just few. But I need to go to the streams regularly if I want to promote my channel. So, and I will go to them even if you're only 2 or 3. But those who are with me, who are going to support me, please write what is more important, or which day is more convenient for you, because Monday, it's not a good day for me. It's the only day off which I have, and I cannot, though I love what I'm doing and I enjoy those streams, I cannot give my last and the only one day off to the job. So I have to choose, you know how busy I am. I have to choose among Saturday and Sunday. Is it probable for you to come? Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad to see you here, to see clever people, wonderful, deep personalities, people from different countries. We have a few here, but believe me, our audience is of a very high quality. I know each of you personally, those who are present here, and you're the people of this high quality. And I am proud, I'm really proud to be your teacher, friend, psychologist, companion, so friend. So this is the honor for me to have all of you in my life. So that is why I do hope that we will do it on the regular basis. And as far as I have learned, to promote this channel, I need to do it every week at least once. I mean, in English. So Sunday, yes, evening, certainly evening. We're talking only about evenings, but maybe not always 8. Sometimes it can be 9, sometimes it can be even 10, sometimes it can be 7. So I will always inform you, but it will be not, it won't be earlier than 7, and it won't be later than 10 Moscow time. So I have 2 votes here for Sunday evening. Ksenia, write me please, because I know that you're a very faithful follower of mine. So Helen, is it all right for you Sunday? Do you have some special plans? Nastya, I know that you work on Sunday very hard, but is it theoretically possible for you to join us in the evening, Sunday evening? Certainly, my friends, it's not a must. You're not obliged. If you have a date or you have a birthday party, certainly you can watch all those stuff, just record it on the channel. But during our first streams, I really need your participation, because meanwhile we are acquiring and attracting new audience. I need you here. Sunday, all right, Anastasia. Okay, thank you. Helen wrote evening. Okay, I just can't see Ksenia Sunday. Yeah, okay. So I have most of you who typically back me up on the regular basis, and just to see you in the nearest 3-4 meetings. Yeah. And then certainly, and please, I have a request in case, so you are not obliged to report to me, I'm not your boss, but in case, for example, this Sunday we are meeting, if you have some events, just drop me a line, no explanation, just Ilona or Ilona Mikhailna, the way you call me, or I don't know how, just drop a line. Today I can't, because if 4 of 4 can't, we will transfer it. Yeah, if just one person can't, it's not a problem, we can meet. Have you heard what I meant? So it's just for the nearest months. Yeah, in case on Sunday you have an event, just drop me a line in WhatsApp. Ilona, I can't. And that's it. No explanations, no justifications. Okay, you may, Helen, if you have it, you're right. And if it's Sunday, you just write. Ilona, I can't. So no explanations. So for me to know that at least, so we are 7 here, certainly people will join us. And as I told you, I have native speakers who will be with us and will watch this video, but we need 3, 4, 5 times to swing it a little. And certainly I can't have a stream with just one person. It will be ridiculous. I should have at least 4 or 5 of you. It's quite enough to arrange it. So did I make myself clear? Just write yes. If it's so, if no, I will clarify it once again. So we're seeing each other in this format, English format, on Sunday. I will clarify the time just on that day. I will send you notification, or it will be written in my story. Instagram, I always announce the time of my streams here and there. So in case one of you finds out that you can't this Sunday, drop me a line. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in our Russian stream, which is on psychology. We continue the topic. Those who failed to watch it, just look and watch the record. It is there on the channel. And I thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. It's my pleasure. And write your questions. You're always welcome with your questions after the stream. If I missed any questions, I'm sorry. I didn't do it intentionally, but sometimes following the thought, you cannot read what was written. Never get offended with that. If your question was important, just drop a line in WhatsApp, in Instagram, wherever. Don't forget to write your comments, friends. It's extremely important. On your comments, the future of the channel depends on your likes and comments. Maybe it's ridiculous, but this is the reality. Please do not ignore it. Write as much as you can. Write 2 comments if you can. One can be clever, the other is formal. Just thank you for the video, something like that. Not less than 3 words, it should be. So each your comment helps the channel to grow up. So thank you very much. I hope that this idea to making streams in English is quite actual, and I hope I will not be disappointed in it, that it's really necessary for you Russian-speaking people and for European people and even for English-speaking people. Maybe they will find something interesting in our talks. So good night. Have a nice evening and see most of you tomorrow. I love you. Bye-bye.